afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome and thank you for taking the time to join us on the occasion of Virtual Agreement and MOU signing ceremony today. The signing kicks off the start of collaboration between Indonesia Research Alliance and University of Melbourne to deliver Prime Program from the Ministry of Research and Technology and National Research and Innovation Agency, supported by LPDP. In addition to that, the Memorandum of Understanding on Prime Program will also allow research and expertise exchanges across areas, including social sciences, health, science, and engineering. So before we begin, may I remind you to please turn on your camera as we are observing the signing ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very delighted to have the company of the Honorable Minister of Research and Technology and the Head of National Research and Innovation Agency, Professor Bambang Brodjonegoro. Selamat siang, Pak Menteri. It is my great pleasure to also welcome the Honorable Rektor of Universitas Indonesia, Professor Kuncoro, Deputy Vice Chancellor International at the University of Melbourne, Professor Michael Wesley, Secretary to the Ministry of Research and Technology, Dr. Mego Pinandito, Rectors and Executives representing the member of Indonesia Research Alliance, Universitas Gadjah Mada, and Universitas Airlangga. Vice Rector for Research and Innovation, Universitas Indonesia, Dr. Nurtami, Dr. Andin Hadiyanto, the Director of LPDP, officials of the Consulate General of the Republic of Indonesia in Melbourne, deans and directors, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to have two segments of event this afternoon. First, we start with the virtual signing ceremony, and second, the short seminar on research development. So without further ado, it is my great honor to now invite the Minister of Research and Technology and the Head of National Research and Innovation Agency, Bapak Profesor Bambang Brodjonegoro, to deliver the welcome address. Kami persilakan Pak Menteri.
Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon, everybody. Honorable Rector of University of Indonesia, Professor Kuncoro, Honorable Deputy Vice Chancellor International, the University of Melbourne, Professor Michael Wesley, CEO of LPDP, Bapak Andin Hadiyanto, all the speakers, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, on behalf of the ministry, I would like to congratulate the announcement or the MOU signing between our ministry, University of Indonesia, and also Melbourne University at the program called Prime. Maybe you might wonder why Prime is there and whether Prime is part of our strategy. Of course, in the Ministry of Research and Technology, National Research of Innovation Agency, we have like 4 main goals, especially for the period of 2020-2024. First, to enhance research and innovation acceleration, especially improving the existence of Center of Science and Technology, including supporting the Science Technopark, and also improving the percentage of successful technology incubator, startup innovation, and more importantly, related to the professors at University of Indonesia, increasing the amount of not only publication, but also citation, and of course also increasing the granted patents. Aside from that, we are also working on to increase quantity and quality of R&D expenditure, not only from the government budget, but also we are trying to involve the private sector. And we are also trying to make sure that the invention or research output can be downstream into innovation and moving on to industrialization as well as commercialization. And in terms of participation of society and private sector, we are thinking that we have to have the focus. And our focus in doing research and innovation, first to strengthen the so-called appropriate technology for the society, or basically reduce technology for society, increasing value added and improving or increasing the quality of local content and import substitution, as well as strengthening the research for frontier technology. And of course, with the private sector, we hope that our innovative products can be utilized, can be produced, and finally commercialized by private sector. And since university is, of course, main actor of doing research, then we need to develop the research powerhouse, including the university themselves, by increasing the percentage of human resource in science, increasing science technology infrastructure, strengthening research network, and what we are talking today is enhancing international partnership. So the question why international partnership is so critical to improve the quality of university and research in Indonesia. According to Scopus 2020, there is a positive correlation around 0.9, so very strong correlation between how much a country collaborates internationally in terms of percentage and the total field-weighted citation impact of the entire country. The conclusion, countries which collaborate more are cited more often. So it's clear that the way we're trying to improve, let's say, the ranking of universities is by increasing the number of citation. And how to make sure that we have increasing citation is not by, by making kind of gentleman agreement that I will quote your paper and you will quote my paper. But of course, it has to go through international collaboration between universities in Indonesia and, of course, highly reputable universities around the globe. Of course, we are looking for high-ranking universities around the globe. And today, we are talking about collaboration with Melbourne University, one of the best university in Australia. But again, the graph shows that on the current situation, Indonesia is still very low on the graph, way below countries, for example, our neighbors like Singapore. And we know how Singapore can be there, not only because they have, of course, high-ranking universities like NUS or NTU, but they also having very strong collaboration with many reputable universities in the world. So it means we need to increase the correlation by having more international collaboration in terms to improve or to increase the citation. And if we look at this table, of course, we really welcome the collaboration with Australia, which is our neighbor. And it's good because Australia is very close to Indonesia. And in terms of the numbers of co-author publication, meaning the sign of the collaboration between the two countries, Australia ranked number 3, only below Japan and Malaysia, and above other countries, including US, UK, Germany, South Korea, and Thailand. But when it comes to the field-weighted citation impact that will define the correlation later, then we see that looking at the top 10 countries Indonesia collaborates with, the resulting co-publication are all cited many times higher than world average. So it means when we are looking for the partners, we have to select the partners, strategically by choosing the partners that will create high citation impact. And of course, Australia, as you can see on the field-weighted citation impact, 3.6 higher than, for example, compared to Malaysia or Thailand, our neighbors. Of course, we think that with Malaysia and Thailand will be easier because we are in ASEAN. But of course, we have to look beyond our partners in ASEAN. We have to look around the globe. And Australia is there, Australia right in, close to us. And we have to really build collaboration, strong collaboration in research and publication in terms of co-authors with Australian universities, including today Melbourne universities. And if we look at the Indonesia's internationally collaborated papers, unfortunately, it has declined from over 55% in 2010 to only less than 20% in 2019. So this is real warning. You know, it means that maybe we are enjoying too much our own, effort in making the papers and forget the importance of international collaboration, or somehow maybe the university management forget to analyze that the reason why the university has their own ranking as its own ranking is because of the citation, not only in terms of number of publication. So it means that first we have to increase the numbers, and unfortunately the numbers has been declining. And of course we have to make sure that we can go back to the trend in 2010 or even better than that. And of course, today's MOU will be the first stage. And after that, we have to prove that with the real co-author publication that hopefully will have the high citation. And I really believe that with the reputation of Melbourne University and reputation of their scholars, Indonesian scholars can take advantage by collaborating with the Melbourne University professors and research staff. And then today we are going to witness the MOU between Menristek BRIN, the universities, of course Melbourne University on the Australian side, and 3 universities in Indonesia, which is University of Indonesia, Airlangga University, and Gadjah Mada University. And I would like also to thank Dr. Andin Hadiyanto, the CEO of LPDP, to support this collaboration. And after, I think, quite intensive discussion, we agree that the area of collaboration would be called prime health. Of course, partnership in research, but more importantly in health science. So when we are talking health science, of course, some areas that will be prioritized, including primary care, health service, pediatric and adolescent health, and also related to what we are experiencing today, infectious disease. And the expected outcome, which is very important, I always emphasize, whenever you have collaboration with a reputable university overseas, then you have to have concrete outcome, clear, defined outcome. And this expected outcome shall include publication with a stage increasing target, where a total of 10, 15, and 20 published articles shall be met at the end of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th year. And of course, we are talking now still at the quantity, but make sure we really take advantage of the collaboration with Melbourne University by not only publishing more, but also trying to make higher quality of paper that will be cited more. And of course, it will help all universities, UI, Airlangga, as well as Gadjah Mada. And of course, Melbourne University can also learn a lot from experience in Indonesia and the degree of advancements in Indonesian science. So at the end, I would like to congratulate today's MOU, and we hope the MOU can really be effective, meaning can be implemented perfectly. And we also hope that the strong collaboration pairing between professor at Melbourne Uni and professor at UI, Airlangga, and Gadjah Mada can also work well. And of course, we are glad if by the end of this program, we can see more and more Indonesian scholars, Indonesian professors can be part of the so-called internationally respected scholars in their field, especially, of course, in the field of health. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih, Pak Menteri. Having joined us now, we have Professor Dedi Priyadi, the Vice Rector for Human Resources and Assets, Universitas Indonesia. Selamat datang, Prof. Dedi. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will proceed to the signing ceremony. We will begin with the signing between the Indonesian Ministry of Research and Technology, National Research and Innovation Agency, and Universitas Indonesia on behalf of Indonesia Research Alliance. Now, may I request Professor Ari Kuncoro and Dr. Mega Pinandito to sign the agreement, and Minister Bambang Brodjonegoro to witness the signing. And once you are ready, please show the agreement and face the camera for photo. We will take the photo. Pak Mego, if you're ready, please. We will take the photo in the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, professors. Moving on to the second signing, may I request once again Professor Ari Kuncoro, Dr. Mego Pinandito, and Professor Michael Wesley to please sign the Memorandum of Understanding on Prime Program Partnership. Minister Bambang Brodjonegoro kindly witness the signing. Please show the MOU and face the camera when you're ready. We will take the photo in a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, professors. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're very pleased to have the company of Minister Bambang Brodjonegoro this afternoon, but we understand that the minister will need to leave the virtual room to attend another appointment. Kepada Pak Menteri, kami persilahkan meninggalkan acara. Terima kasih banyak atas kehadirannya Bapak. Now I'd like to kindly invite Professor.
Terima kasih Pak Bambang.
Terima kasih Pak Menteri. Now I'd like to kindly invite Professor Ari Kuncoro to deliver his remarks on this occasion. Kami persilahkan Pak Rektor.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. His Excellency Professor Bambang Brodjonegoro, Minister of Research and Technology, Head of National Research and Innovation Agency, Republic of Indonesia, Honorable Professor Michael Wesley, Deputy Vice Chancellor International, the University of Melbourne, Honorable Dr. Andin Hadiyanto, CEO of LPDP, Honorable Professor Rektor of Universitas Gajah Mada, Honorable Prof. Muhammad Nasir, Rektor of Universitas Erlangga, Distinguished Vice Rector, Deans, and Vice Dean of Universitas Indonesia, distinguished guests, professors, invited speakers, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Very good afternoon to all of you in Jakarta, and to those virtually joining us from other cities. On behalf of Universitas Indonesia, it is such a pleasure to welcome you all today for induction and MOU signing ceremony of the partnership in Research Indonesia and Melbourne or Prime Program between the Ministry of Research and Technology, National Research and Innovation Agency, Menristek BRIN, Universitas Indonesia, and the University of Melbourne. I would also like to take this opportunity to express our greatest appreciation to Menristek BRIN and Minister Bambang Brodjonegoro for appointing Universitas Indonesia as the lead institution for this Prime Program. Ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Program is initiated and established not only as one of the platforms to strengthen research and academic partnership between Indonesia and Australia, but also as a collective effort in tackling the world's biggest problem in areas like energy, climate change, poverty, inequality, and health, and especially on how to build global resilience against the recent COVID-19 pandemic. The program is designed to emphasize a cross and multidisciplinary approach toward partnership between University of Melbourne and Indonesian University Research Alliance, which consists of UI, UGM, and UNAIR, in various areas such as prime health, prime social, prime engineering, and prime science. We hope this program will bring together cream of the cream from all of the consortium members to work together in addressing numerous emerging challenges and pivoting toward a better future for our generation. Ladies and gentlemen, enhancing international academic and research collaboration has been one of our top priorities. UI is expected to strengthen its role as one of Indonesia's top and prestigious universities in order to achieve world-class university status. We strongly believe that both academic and research collaboration can significantly enhance the quality and quantity of academic and research output among its academicians and researchers and enable them to be exposed to the current global trend. I'm proud to say that UI and University of Melbourne have a long-standing history of relationship in working collaboratively in the direction of better development in both academic and research, starting from the establishment of joint program in bachelor degree in computer science. The partnership between the two universities has grown into wider area with the addition of several international double degree programs, both at undergraduate and postgraduate levels, such as in business and economics, public policy, and clinical research. In research, collaboration among researchers at UI and University of Melbourne in several fields has won many prestigious international and national funds. The collaboration has produced scientific publications, research innovation, policy brief, and other forms of scholarly output and proven to be beneficial for the society. Therefore, I believe that the PRIME program would be the additional avenue to further strengthen our relationship, not only with the University of Melbourne, but also with UGM and UNAIR. Finally, I would also like to thank all of the people who are working tirelessly to make this event possible. I'm confident that this program will be a successful one. UI is looking forward to working collaboratively with our prime university partners for the better years ahead. Terima kasih. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih, Pak Rektor. For the next remarks, may I now invite Professor Michael Wesley, Deputy Vice Chancellor International, the University of Melbourne. Professor Wesley, please.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Minister Professor Bambang Brodjonegoro, Rector Professor Kuncoro, Dr. Andin Hadiyanto, Consul General Muniro Rahim, representatives of Menristek BRIN and the Government of the Republic of Indonesia, colleagues from the University of Melbourne and our Indonesian university partners. Good afternoon. I send my sincere warm wishes to you from Melbourne. My name is Michael Wesley and I am Deputy Vice Chancellor International at the University of Melbourne. I am delighted to be part of this significant occasion to formalise our cooperation through PRIME, the Partnership in Research Indonesia and Melbourne. The establishment of PRIME marks a new milestone in research and academic cooperation between the University of Melbourne and Indonesia in areas that address some of the most critical challenges confronting the world today. On behalf of the University of Melbourne, I extend my thanks and appreciation to Minister Brodjonegoro for his vision and support of this important initiative. I would also like to thank Professor Vedi Hadiz, Melbourne's Assistant Deputy Vice Chancellor International for Indonesia, who has been instrumental in developing this partnership. Initially, PRIME will facilitate cooperation in the health sciences and social sciences, and I look forward to hearing more about the planned collaborations from our colleagues at Universitas Indonesia and Melbourne University. I would like to acknowledge our academics' dedication and commitment to undertaking research that makes a positive impact in our communities and enhances cultural exchange and understanding. The University of Melbourne has a long history of collaboration and strong partnerships with leading universities in Indonesia. I am delighted that PRIME will deepen our relations further and help achieve Melbourne's aspiration to lead expansion of educational and academic cooperation between Australia and Indonesia. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Wesley. For the next remarks, please join me in welcoming Dr. Hadiyanto, the Director of LPDP. Kami persilakan, Bapak.
Terima kasih. Thank you very much. The Honorable Bapak Profesor Bambang Brodjonegoro, Minister of Research and Technology, Head of the National Research and Innovation Technology, Bapak Profesor Ari Kuncoro, Rektor of the University of Indonesia, Mr. Michael Wesley, Deputy Vice Chancellor International of the University of Melbourne, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. LDP strongly support the research collaborations between the Ministry of Research and Technology, National Agency for Research and Innovations, with University of Indonesia, representing Indonesia Research Alliance, and the University of Melbourne. We have a strong confidence that Prime Program will strengthen the cooperations and improve the research quality of research collaborations between universities involved that will lead to the Innovation Alliance between Indonesia and Australia to provide added value to the competitiveness of both countries. Therefore, these research collaborations hopefully will be able to increase the number of good quality publications and in the ranking of the university involved, but most importantly, it will also produce new innovations to provide a more real and broad impacts. Ladies and gentlemen, the LPDP has funded international collaborative research since 2017 in the form of merit and matching funds with several research funding institutions from abroad, such as the Newton Fund, UKRI, and the European Union. LPDP as a government agency that manages the Endowment Fund for Education has a flexibility in terms of research fundings, including funding for international collaborative research. And this flexibility includes funding research across fiscal years, financing required research equipments, having a mechanism for direct and fast disbursement of research funds, and accommodating the financing needs of international collaborations. This flexibility is expected to accelerate the growth and develop a better national innovation ecosystems and the openness of networking with international community. Ladies and gentlemen, in closings, we congratulate the signing of this Memorandum of Understandings. LPDP will continue to support national international research and innovation collaborations to accelerate a better innovation ecosystem in Indonesia. Thank you very much.
Terima kasih, Dr. Hadiyanto. The honorable professors, ladies and gentlemen, we've concluded the signing ceremony. Now we proceed to the second segment. There is a short seminar discussing topics related to research development. We will take questions and the speakers will address them by the end of the seminar. If you have any questions, please send them through the chat box and do not forget to mention to whom the question is addressed. And we will have about 10 minutes for the discussion. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Professor Dwiani Ocviyanti. She is the Vice Dean for Education, Research and Student Affairs, the Faculty of Medicine, Universitas Indonesia. And her expertise includes obstetrics and gynecology. She's ready to discuss the role of collaboration in improving research quality. Kami silakan, Prof.
Thank you. May I share my slide? I think I already can. And then thank you so much for the time, and then good afternoon for everybody who are still in this meeting, and then to the honor of our college, and then I will present the role of collaboration in improving research quality. So we know that collaborative research is working together in a joint intellectual effort in production of knowledge and innovation for a common purpose or benefit. So the types of collaborative research, maybe we already know there are lots of it, but within academic institution, it could be between academic institutions and government agency, academic institution and industry, and domestic and international. The urgency of collaborative research is increasingly interdisciplinary, complex, and costly characteristics of modern science. Various government policies solving complex problems, more credibility and validity to the project if investigators with specific experience are involved. Some funding agencies also favor interdisciplinary research teams. So I think it is correlate with what we have in national research priority, because this roadmap is designed to enhance holistic and collaborative research. What is the impact of collaborative research? The impact of collaborative research outcomes could be for government, in industrial perspective, or for academic perspective. We have some of this. And the collaborative research also has impact for the researcher. One of the impact is the key mechanism for mentoring graduate students and postdoctoral researchers, and also enhancing the productivity of individual scientists. The collaborative research also making impact for the institution as new leading edge research areas for publication, like our ministry already told about that, about publication and citations, patents and license agreements, and also for research funding. The collaborative research impact also for country and government. It creates jobs, it attracts the investment, and this is the most important thing that we have in health, is solving the complex problems. Our mutual partnership between University of Indonesia and University of Melbourne and all two other universities, UGM and UNAIR, began with the University of Melbourne. University of Melbourne, we already know, is a public-spirited institution that makes distinctive contribution to society in research, learning, and teaching, and engagement. It's already established in 1853. And the Times Higher Education World University Ranking of University of Melbourne in 2020-2021 is the 31st of World University Ranking and the first in Australia. So we are happy that we can collaborate with the University of Melbourne. University of Indonesia, also a public university, is based in Depok, West Java, and is one of the oldest tertiary level educational institutions in Indonesia, together with UGM, Gajah Mada, and UNAIR. The roots of UI date back to 1851, a little bit older. At the time, the colonial government of the Dutch East Indies established a school to train medical assistants. But yes, we still should work, because our Time Higher Education World University Ranking in 2020 and 2021, it is still 800 to 1,000 in World University Ranking and 47th for Impact Ranking 2020 and 162 and 162nd in Asia University Ranking. For Gajah Mada is also very old, already officially founded in 1949. And the university was established under Dutch rule also. It was the first medicine faculty freely open to native Indonesian, and at a time when native education was often restricted. This is also the Times Higher Education World Ranking. We all should survive for having better than this. And Airlangga University, the second oldest and also public university located in Surabaya, despite being officially established by Indonesian government regulation in 1954, Universitas Airlangga was first founded in 1948 as a distant branch of University of Indonesia with roots dating back to 1930. This is also the Times Higher Education World University Ranking for Universitas Airlangga. So the three old university has already collaboration before. For University Indonesia and University of Melbourne already have a long-standing relationship since 1995. Already have a MOU recognize that the value of continued international cooperation and wish to recognize ongoing relationship. So it already has a memorandum of understanding, and then partnership and cooperation. University of Indonesia and Melbourne intend to support their mutual interest in the following areas: in research collaboration and or joint research project, promotion and support of joint PhD opportunities. We already have some staff getting the PhD in University of Melbourne. We also have exchange of academic staff, organization and lectures and symposia, exchange of academic information or material, and explore the development of a formal student exchange program. So Universitas Indonesia already sent regularly from 2019, 17 students each year until 2019. So all is 85 students we already sent to University of Melbourne, part of the international program of medical education in University of Indonesia. And the recent mutual partnership is already signing the double degree Master of Clinical Research and Specialist program at UI. We call it UI Clinical Res, and Master of Clinical Research at University of Melbourne, which is Master in Clinical Res. So this program will provide students with a broad understanding of the discipline and practice of research in a clinical context. The first batch of this double degree will start the course at the University of Melbourne in January 2022. We hope, because it should be a year before, but because of the pandemic, it should be at the 2022. Slots will be open for applicants who apply in the second term of academic year in 2021, this July and August. Okay, sorry for this. And then the mutual partnership already happened from Gadjah Mada University and the University of Melbourne. There are lots of collaboration, research collaboration between University of Melbourne and UGM, and also UI with Australia Indonesia Center Strategic Research Program, Project SRP3 team. And this collaborative research is focused on port competitiveness and financing at the time. So it is the base of our collaboration in this health services research and health research. The inbound activities also research collaboration, studium general between University of Melbourne and Universitas Gadjah Mada. Also, Airlangga University already have a mutual partnership with Memorandum of Understanding between the University of Melbourne with Faculty of Social Science and Politics, Airlangga University. This MOU has made Universitas Airlangga as one of strategic partner to University of Melbourne beside UI and UGM. The long-standing collaboration is the partnership of University of Melbourne and Faculty of Medicine, Airlangga University, with double degree program for undergraduate students to get Bachelor of Medicine degree in the University of Melbourne. The prime partnership in research Indonesia and Melbourne, based on these three collaboration with three older university in Indonesia. The background is the Indonesians' burden of disease, the communicable diseases, maternal and neonatal health, and nutritional stages. The role of primary care service in 2014, the BOD plus a shift of disease pattern to NCD, and sustainability of healthcare service in an ever-growing population, and evidence-informed health workforce to manage challenges. In 2020, COVID pandemic, which leads to the crisis of health and economic, make there's an urgent need to invest on the quality of health system to be able to promptly respond to this emerging disease. So the aim of this prime is the need for high quality research collaboration, strengthening innovation and research capabilities through significant investment in research funding. The collaboration Indonesia-Australia aims to enhance and further strengthen the successful of those research collaborations. The key proposed topic is health system and policy and maternal, child, and adolescent health during COVID-19 pandemic. For this, we have 5 clusters: the health service cluster, primary health clusters, and the pediatric adolescent health cluster, infectious disease cluster, and also social clusters. We have 6 proposals, and 2 of these proposals is come from the same cluster. It is pediatric and adolescent health. The theme of the research, the first one is the engaging adolescents and young adults toward better health of the next generation, strengthening development of adolescent and young adult, which we call it AYA, friendly primary care services within the health promoting universities framework in Indonesia. So we make the term of Straya Indo for the first proposal. The research team was led is led by Dr. Indah Suci Widyaning, and then the partner from Melbourne is Prof. Lena Sansi, and then the research team is Dr. Danasari, me, Prof. Junaiti Sahar, Prof. Hari Kusnanto, Dr. Fitria, Dr. Linda, Dr. Puji Lestari, Dr. Endang, all is from University of Indonesia, Gadjah Mada, and Airlangga University. So these are the research team from the first research. The research design proposed to have an output of 2 manuscripts in the first year and 1 policy recommendation in 2021 at the end of this year. And then the second stage will be the output 2 manuscripts and 1 AYA primary care services model. So our ministry asked us to also don't forget to have the outcome or output of the research. And the other is activities will have also in 2023 2 manuscripts, training modules, and health education materials. The pilot testing will be in 3 university clinics. And then the last year will be 2 manuscripts, 2 guidebooks, digital health model, and 1 policy recommendation. And also we hope that we could have the scholarship for adolescent primary care services in PhD research, except all the guidelines we want to make. The second term is preventing the golden generation from stunting and non-communicable diseases through improvement of adolescent health. It comes from the cluster of adolescent health. It will lead by Dr. Bernie Ndiarni, and then Professor Susan Sawyer from University of Melbourne, and the team will be Professor Asmarina, Dr. Yoga, Dr. Frida from Universitas Indonesia, Dr. Maineni, Dr. Madarina Julina from Gadjah Mada, and Dr. Royke and Dr. Nur Aisyah from Airlangga University. So those are the teams in the second cluster or in the second proposal. So this is all the output from the year 1 and 2 and then the year 3 and 4. Of course, this will also include the possibility of having the publication and also the innovation. The third one is the long-term outcome of children with COVID-19 and treatment evaluation in Indonesia, which we called it as LOCETE or LOCATE. This is from the cluster of infectious diseases. The principal investigator will be Dr. Nina with Professor Julie Bynes from the Melbourne. And then the research team is Dr. Ari Prayitno, Dr. Nastiti, Dr. Ida from Gadjah Mada University, and Dr. Rina, Dr. Dominicus, and Dr. Retno from, and Dr. Sarah from University of Melbourne, and Professor Steve Graham and Prof. Jody Fernand, also from University of Melbourne. And these are the research teams. We hope that they will then have a very nice output, the publication. It will be in the first year also, the second year in 2022 will be 2 publications, and then another more publication in 2023, and then more also in the 2024. The impact is better understanding of COVID-19 in children. There will be a public policy for prevention of COVID-19 infection, especially in children, and public policy for school reopening, the clinical guidelines, and the COVID-19 vaccine baseline understanding of parents' point of view, as well as antibody for better implementation of vaccine in children, and also the family capacity building. The fourth proposal will be dietary modulation of gut microbiota on COVID-19 infection in adolescent, the gut-lung axis. It is also from the adolescent health cluster, and will be led by the principal investigator, Dr. Rina, with Professor Julie Bynes. And then the research team will be Dr. Ervi, Professor Mordani, me also, Dr. Karina, Dr. Hanifa, Dr. Dafrina, Professor Jufri, Dr. Emi, Hari Fretak Duklio, Dr. Wahyu Damayanti, Dr. Purwo Sri Rejeki, Dr. Lili, Dr. Dwi Susanti, and Triska Nidia, the PhD student at UI. These are the research teams. And then we also have a very big research output. It will be 2 scientific articles in the first year, and the second year also the articles and biomedical and non-biomedical pathways. the psychosocial healthy eating, and the physical activity training module for adolescents to be registered for intellectual property rights. And at the third year, the 2 scientific articles and the policy brief on adolescent health transitioning to adulthood. The fourth year will be the 2 scientific articles and the patent of the method of intervention and nutritional composition for reduction of COVID-19. The research output theme is the risk factor of COVID-19 in adolescents in 3 biggest cities of Indonesia, the immune maturation of adolescents, the effect of promotion of adolescents' gut microbiota, healthy dietary trend, and activity in reducing the risk of COVID-19, and the effect of promotion of adolescents' gut microbiota, healthy dietary trend, and activity on their health. The action research for strengthening community-based surveillance system in COVID-19 pandemic is one of the last health research. It is come from the health services, which will be led by Professor Sabarina from Universitas Indonesia. And all the research team is Dr. Mardiati Najib, Dr. Dumila Ayuningtyas, Prof. Asri, Ibu Helden, Dr. Mondasri, Dr. Jody, from Gajah Mada with Dr. Tiara, Dr. Firdaus, Dr. Lika, and Dr. Andreasta Meliala. And from Airlangga University, Dr. Abdul Samsri Yaningsih, and then Dr. Joni and Alfian Nur Rashid. These are the all teams of the health research teams. The health research services cluster will have the biggest, I think, proposal in these health research proposals, and the research output will be systematic review manuscript, the instrument of development process, the instrument of validity and reliability for measuring sustainability and acceptance of stakeholders. And there are also results of assessment in existing community-based surveillance system, result of exploration of existing community-based surveillance system in each of study site, and common factor and specific factors of community-based surveillance system also in 3 study sites as a manuscript. And the last one is result of sustainability of proposed community-based surveillance system as a manuscript, and result of acceptance of stakeholders on proposed community-based surveillance system as a manuscript. Last but not least is the prime social cluster. The term will be producing knowledge on Asia for Indonesia, Asian countries' strategies to cope with the pandemic of COVID-19. It will be led by Ibu Evi Fitriani, PhD from Universitas Indonesia, and the partner will be Professor Andrew Roser, PhD from University of Melbourne. There are the team, Bapak Sofan Albana, Dave Lumenta, Inaya Rahmani, Dr. Dia Hadi Setio Naluri, and Datriasturi, Dr. Suraya Afif, Lugina Setiawati, PhD, Dr. Phil Imam Ardianto, Dr. Phil Dianate Pakasi, and then Dr. Linda Safirani from Gajah Mada University, Ibu Sartika Susilowati, PhD from Airlangga University, and also Prof. Fedi Hadis, Dave McCree, and Dr. Ariana Utama from University of Melbourne. Those are the team. We hope that all this collaboration really could reach the output, and then this could be one of the research output that really the targets that we need, the articles, and also the result of the research, the policy series in this first year, the popular articles, and then this will be for three targets, and then also national book and naskah academic. I think this is all that we have for the first collaboration with the University of Melbourne with these 3 universities, and we hope that we can come to the end with all the results like we already promised. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for the insight, Prof. Ovi. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to send us questions for the panelists through the chat box, if you have any. We've received a few questions, but let's save them for later, because joining us now from Melbourne, we have Dr. Anita Horvath. She is a senior lecturer in medical education and is now ready to talk about the development of research collaboration between 3 Indonesian universities and the University of Melbourne. Dr. Horvath, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. This is a very exciting initiative that we have been working on with Universitas Indonesia and Universitas Gadjah Mada and Universitas Airlangga. And this really is a very exciting new program that presents us with an opportunity to expand on many of the existing research work that we currently already do with across Indonesia. But really we're hoping to use the Prime Research Initiative to establish new ideas and collaborations with our Indonesian partners. To our distinguished guests and colleagues from Indonesia and our distinguished leaders from the University of Melbourne, and on behalf of the Faculty of Medicine, Dentistry and Health Sciences, we're certainly delighted to be a part of the establishment of the first of the Prime Health clusters and the Prime Health Initiative. This initiative provides us with the foundation for sustained research partnerships and future research exchange pathways to be formed between our researchers at the University of Melbourne and many of our leading collaborators from Universitas Indonesia, UGM and UNAIR. As we know, research is critical to all our activities in society and for solving emerging and complex challenges, and it also underpins all our healthcare interventions. And we have been very much aware of how important research is, in particular in the last 12 to 18 months as we've all experienced this global pandemic, and are acutely aware of how quickly we've been able to develop a vaccine to COVID-19. And we're very delighted that, you know, without that research, we would not have been able to succeed in that way. And we're also have to acknowledge that this current challenge would not have been able to be addressed in the way it has been if countries had not collaborated in research. And this really further highlights how important research partnerships are, not only within our own countries, but collaborations across different countries, and how important these are for us to continue to work on these so that we can face our current and future social and healthcare challenges. We are really honoured to be recognised as the key partner on this new initiative. And thank you to the support from the Ministry of Research and Technology and Minister Bambang Brodjonegoro as Indonesia invests in expanding research capacity and research training and sets itself up as an emerging leader in research in the Asian Hemisphere. And thank you for supporting us and our Indonesian partners to collaborate on the work that we've proposed in addressing the health challenges in Indonesia. And really, we aim to use this initiative to consolidate and expand on our existing partnerships, but really with the long-term aim of building sustained, deep clinical health research partnerships. As Prof. Ovi and many others have already mentioned, we've had a very strong and sustained history of collaboration with Indonesia and with Indonesian institutions, including Universitas Indonesia and Universitas Gadjah Mada, which I think we've had almost formal engagements for close to 30 years now. And we continue to form new connections in Indonesia, such as our newest partner, Universitas Airlangga, where we're looking to develop research training through their medical students and a pathway for future research training through this initiative of Prime Health. And we also have many other connections, including notable research institutes such as the Eichmann Institute, and many of the researchers that have been nominated through our health clusters already engage quite intensively with the Eichmann Institute. Our activities in Indonesia are broad. We have lots of different opportunities. We have research collaboration, we have joint research projects, but we also have many formal research training programs, and we look to expand on potential PhDs and master's programs, and to have formal academic programs in undergraduate and postgraduate research training. One of our most long-held research programs has been the Bachelor of Medical Science, through which we have delivered research training to Universitas Indonesia medical trainees, research training, where they come to Melbourne and spend a year undertaking research projects. And through this program, we've already graduated over 400 medical students in research training. And they have had the experience of working at some of our leading research institutes, including the Peter Doherty Institute, the Peter MacCallum Research Institute. And we really hope that this Prime Health initiative will continue to be able to give these opportunities to future students in the coming years. I wanted to highlight also just how much the students are valued in Australia. Supervisors of these students regularly comment on the diligence of the students and request for students to continue into higher degree studies, either through a master's program or a PhD training. And these research training programs often offer the students the pathway for generating their future research leaders in Indonesia and also for establishing new research collaborations. Not only do we have a lot of academic programs and PhD programs, but when I look across the faculty in terms of the types of activities, there are broad in the types of disciplines that people are involved in. It spans the depth across our faculty and involves partnership across a broad range of disciplines, including the Melbourne Medical School, which is very integral to academic and research training and also research programs, but also the Nossal Institute for Global Health, which also has a lot of research work that happens within Indonesia and also involved in research training through PhD students. And within our School of Public Health, which regularly enrolls students into the Masters of Public Health. And this really reflects on our commitment to engaging with Indonesian students and partnering with Indonesian researchers across our whole faculty. We currently have over 20 Indonesian PhD students enrolled in the Faculty of Medicine, Dentistry and Health Sciences. And when we look at the scope of where these students are, they are within all our different schools that are available within our faculty. And currently we also have another 40 students undertaking research training at either undergraduate or master's level. These students are held in high regard. They are valued for the contribution that they make to their research programs, generating research impacts and publications for both our university and their home universities. And there is certainly a sense of pride and recognition of the value that they bring to our faculty when they are disseminating their work. The students are supervised by many of our leading researchers, including the Dean of our faculty, Professor Jane Gunn, and also our nominated health cluster leads that have regularly supervised PhD students and will hopefully continue to take them in through the Prime Health initiative. We also acknowledge that these research partnerships with Indonesian researchers and not just students are valuable to our work and the research impacts that they generate. The nominated health cluster leads for the Prime Health initiative are leaders both within our faculty and are globally recognised research leaders in their fields. Most importantly for Indonesia, the health cluster leads and the research program they oversee are aligned with the Indonesian government's proposed strategic goals of improving health systems and policy in maternal, child and adolescent health, in particular now during this COVID-19 pandemic. These cluster leads are actively already involved in research programs, and their commitment to the Prime Health initiative will ensure the success of the program and provide them with the opportunity to really not only work closer with their existing partners, but to also to expand on the work that they are already doing. As Prof. Hoffy has already described, we have nominated a number of areas that we would like to, that are the foundation for the Prime Health initiative. And we are looking to collaborate on the mutual objective of health systems policy in maternal, child and adolescent health. I thank Prof. Hoffy from Universitas Indonesia for providing a really comprehensive overview of the research that we plan to undertake in this initiative. But what I'll do now is share the experience that our health cluster leads from the University of Melbourne will bring to this initiative, so that our Indonesian colleagues that are here today can really understand the foundation on which this health Prime Health initiative is laid on. We have Professor Susan Sawyer, who will lead the cluster in adolescent health. Professor Sawyer is the director of the Centre of Adolescent Health and has extensive research activities already within Research Indonesian partners. And she focuses on looking at the reducing the burden of non-communicable diseases and its prevention in children and adolescent health. Prof Sawyer is well known across Indonesia, and she has extensive partnerships with multiple universities and is well recognised as through her work as lead for the health cluster for the Australia-Indonesia Centre, and is going to bring much value and valued expertise to the program. Prof Julie Bynes is also well recognised in Indonesia. Her work as a paediatrician and infectious diseases expert and vaccine researcher has really underpinned a lot of the work that she has done with the rotavirus program, vaccine program, and has worked extensively in Indonesia on rotavirus vaccination and led the collaboration between UGM and the University of Melbourne in rolling out the rotavirus vaccine in Indonesia. She also is the co-director of the World Health Organization Collaboration Centre for Child Health and will lead the infectious disease cluster and will share her detailed knowledge on infectious diseases with her co-cluster leads from our partner universities. Leading the health services cluster will be Professor Barbara McPake. She is the director of the Nossal Institute for Global Health, and she is a world leader in health systems research and has extensive research programs already throughout Indonesia, including the SPARK Consortium for strengthening the preparedness in the Asia-Pacific region through knowledge. And this has been funded by the Australian Department for Foreign Affairs and Trade, and has also been involved in a number of health system projects with UNICEF and the World Bank in Jakarta. We also have Professor Jodie McVernon, who is our Director of Epidemiology at the Doherty Institute for Infection and Immunity. We are delighted to have Prof Vernon involved in this program, as she is the lead researcher for modelling of COVID-19 response in Victoria, providing very early COVID-19 modelling to the Australian federal government, and has been part of an international network of modellers convened by the World Health Organization. With that background, you can fully understand her expertise in infectious diseases and public health and disease modelling, and she will bring her wealth of research expertise to the infectious diseases and health systems clusters. One of the other clusters that we are very keen to support through this program is the extension of primary care. And Professor Lena Sanchi, as the Head of Department for General Practice, will lead our primary healthcare cluster from the University of Melbourne. She has a particular focus in research on improving health and wellbeing of children and young people through primary care, and already has strong collaborations with Universitas Gadjah Mada and Universitas Indonesia, and will work with our cluster leads and our partners in establishing the research pathway for primary health care. So we have assembled a highly committed, talented and experienced health cluster team to work with an equally impressive cluster of Indonesian researchers who will work together to tackle the pertinent questions and research questions and healthcare challenges that we face in adolescent health, primary care, infectious diseases and health systems security. And our cluster leads are really working and focusing on advancing both research programs and healthcare in Indonesia. I would like to thank the cluster leads who have committed to work on this initiative, and I'm sure we'll collaborate within their portfolios and within their clusters. And I already know that they are quite keen to work across their portfolios to share their expertise across the group. All our clusters are passionate. They are a very passionate group and are very keen to work with Indonesian colleagues and support the opportunities for academic exchange and research training. And they are also equally passionate and keen to see the success of this program, success in future grants and publications, and all those other outcomes that are so important in terms of research. As we together face the challenges of COVID-19 pandemic, the Prime Health initiative that is being supported by the Indonesian government is a timely step toward bringing expertise together from across Australia and Indonesia to promote knowledge exchange, research collaboration, and fostering of research partnerships. We wish to express our gratitude and acknowledge our academic partners, Universitas Indonesia as the Prime Health Program leads, and also our leads and health cluster leads from Universitas Gadjah Mada and Universitas Airlangga. I'm delighted that Prof. Ovi and I met a couple of years ago and discussed a shared vision of strengthening research collaborations between Melbourne and across Indonesia. And I'm delighted that we have the opportunity to work on this through the Prime Health. I would also like to thank Prof. Vedi Hadiz, Assistant Deputy Vice Chancellor for Indonesia, for his support in reviving the development of the Prime Initiative. And in closing, I'd also just like to thank the Indonesian government, the Ministry of Research and Technology, and Minister Bambang Brodjonegoro for providing us with the opportunity for establishing a solid pathway on which we can build a nexus of research exchange, collaboration between the Faculty of Medicine, Dentistry and Health Sciences and our partners, UI, Universitas Gadjah Mada and UNAIR. Although we have worked very successfully together in the past, we really hope that this program will further solidify and extend our partnerships. And we also hope that this program is really just the beginning of our successful collaboration, and that this will form the foundation on which many new partnerships with other institutions can also be forged in Indonesia. Terima kasih. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Horvath. We've got a response here from Bapak Yodi Mahendra, suggesting to include outputs in terms of capacity building going forward, such as number of joint PhDs, joint masters, and joint trainees. Now, to answer this question, I'd like to invite Professor Ovi perhaps to share perspective on this. Silakan, Professor.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. So we know that making a collaboration should base on something that sustain. So that's what we try to do now with University of Melbourne. Thank you, Dr. Anita and all the team, that we begin it with the collaboration in education, because with education then we send doctors, and then we keep making collaboration in changing ideas, changing topic of things, like what we try to make in collaboration in with the Master of Clinical Research. Then we think about how to make research that could be together between Universitas Indonesia and University of Melbourne. Then we have these things that really we are surprised that we have this chance, Dr. Anita, that this chance coming faster than what we think, that we have a collaboration in straight to making research collaboration together with a friend with UGM and UNAIR, and we hope that we can include more university in Indonesia to have an experience in making a research collaboration with University of Melbourne, because we know that by making a collaboration, then we can enhance our mind to make such a research, because what we think before, maybe it's not same with what Dr. Anita and friend. So I have so much having from Dr. Anita to make really expand our mind. We only look for publication, but then we know that that's not the only thing we should do, not only the publication, but of course the quality of research. So Pak Jody, I think you and friends already begin it in UGM. So this collaboration should be something that we make it persistence, and then by sending or change our students, that's I think the most important thing that we should make. The master degree, the PhD degree, and also the medical students. Thank you. Hope it could answer the question.
Thank you, Prof. Dr. Anita Horvath, perhaps you have a perspective on this?
So, I mean, research publications and outputs are always very important, but when we're forming new partnerships or trying to build long-standing collaborations, we also need to think of other outcomes that we want to do. So if you build a good foundation, those other outcomes, those publications will naturally, evolve. So as Prof. Ovi has already highlighted, looking for opportunities to involve students from both sides, not just from Indonesia, but also involving our University of Melbourne students in engaging with research activities that are involved in Indonesia are just as important. So that's something that we're very keen to work towards as well, that how do we engage our local researchers to engage better also with Indonesia. So we don't want to just be seeing that it's one way. We really do want to see this program as something that's both ways. And really the way I see it is that this is the foundation. We have a really strong team that are experienced across all the universities. And so we're wanting to build a solid foundation on which we can expand in future years.
Thank you, Dr. Horvath. Now, next question is addressed to, again, Dr. Horvath. How does interdisciplinary and multidimensional collaboration can increase the quality of research output? Your response.
Really easy question. I guess that with interdisciplinary, it means that one of the things that you can do is that you don't have to become an expert on everything. And the idea of working interdisciplinary is you're bringing the skills of multiple people onto the team. We can only be experts in so many fields. So if we're interdisciplinary and we're bringing together multiple experts, it can only increase the quality of the work that's generated. Collaboration, it is a difficult step because not all collaborations obviously are successful, but I think having a set understanding of what those outcomes that the collaboration wants to achieve, and we're very clear in terms of what it is that we want to achieve out of the research program, really makes it very clear to all parties as to what the objectives are, and then you can all work towards that goal together. If you're not working on a collective agreement in terms of what you want to achieve, there's not going to be a successful outcome. So I think at the start, really being clear about what is achievable and how we can collaborate and drawing on each other's partners' strengths is really how you can increase the quality of your research outputs. I hope that's...
Yes, indeed. Everything needs a process, right? Now, third question is for Professor Ovi. Can you share tips and tricks for initiating collaboration, especially with foreign partners, where culture and language can sometimes be a barrier? Your response, Professor.
Sure. So I think some other university and faculty already do that one. So like I already told before, that beginning with the education is something I think that really, really very important. Sending our students for PhD degree, sending our students for another degree, what we want to reach now, the Master of Clinical Master degree, and except that also in the first term or medical student also. This is very important because by sending our student, then we can do research. We can connect to the researcher there, which always usually they are also the lecturer in the university. How about the language? So this is very tricky. But now we are very surprised that lots of Indonesian now doesn't have this problem of language. That's different in our age, maybe my age. In my age, everything in Indonesian, but now everything should be in English. So the film, the internet, and everything. So we are very surprised that when we asked for the standard of IELTS or standard of TOEFL, they can reach very high score for also Indonesian young doctors or also Indonesian young students. So I think we don't have to be worried about that. But of course, if they really doesn't have that competencies in speaking, there will be a problem. That's why we can do what we call it now. We have a collaboration or communication with friends in the Papua. So maybe some of them doesn't have a place for learning English or doesn't have chance because the internet is so bad. But then we can give them a year or mere what we call it as acclimatization. So they have time to come to the city and then learn how to speak English, but they're very fast learner. So we have it with friends from Papua and also Aceh. They're very fast learner. In 1 year, they can come into the standard that we need. So don't worry for that. I hope. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. We don't have any more questions, I guess. So thank you to all the panelists for the insightful conversation. Please give them a big round of applause.
Thank you so much.
So yes, we need a strong research collaboration among Indonesian universities and the University of Melbourne going forward. So now, ladies and gentlemen, before we wrap up, I'd like to kindly request everyone to turn on the webcam and take the virtual group photo. If you please, everybody, please turn on the webcam. So we have a few slides here, so please bear with me. We have 4 slides here. So everybody is ready. We start with the first Zoom window. Now the second. And the third. And the last, the 4th. Great. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bapak
Thank
Ibu
you,
yang terhormat,
Professor Wesley.
Bapak Ibu yang terhormat, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our event today. We'd like to thank you for your participation and contribution, for the inspiring insights from the speakers and questions from the audience as well. And with this, we are saying goodbye. We will see you in another occasion. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.